Hey guys, so we just did a lot of work to a Boland's MTD 8 horsepower snowblower. Look at this, eh? This is a 2004 snowblower, 8.5 horse, but it was so seized. All of these shear pins completely jammed, broken off, rusted out. Had to drill them out. This, of course, was leaking out the bottom, so we ended up changing that. This entire thing had to be able to come apart. And we didn't think we couldn't do it, but the other guy on, we're going to give a shout out to Donnie Boy 73, because he showed us how to be able to do it. His videos, go check his channel, guys, because this is all done via the education of him. And a little bit of a shout out to 65 Ford, because you see back inside here, these are pieces of 18-wheeler mud flap, a little bit of steel, and some sheet metal screws to be able to tighten up the gap between the case and this piece right here. So the actual gap is going to be nice and tight. We're going to throw lots of snow out there because that's the biggest thing. He showed the videos of before and after, be able to see all of the wet slop that comes out of here, and we're going to tighten up the gap with a little bit of rubber. And that, we ended up changing all the belts. We had to be able to change these bolts here because, again, they break. And again, this was sandblasted. You can see the slight difference in color. This is just regular trim cloud green. So we had it sandblasted. Two coats of trim clad red, and then 2 coats of green, and of course 2 coats of recreational white. It's not real white, it's just recreational white. So it just gives a little bit of that almond, because there is an almond color to the rig already. And everything else is in great shape. The reason why we saved it, because we thought, well, we're at the crossroads. Where do we take this project? We want to be able to save it. It's a fantastic running rig, but this was annoying. These were annoying. The shave plate down in the bottom was annoying. Bolts were broken, and just everything was just rusted and seized. So we thought, how far do we take this project? Let's rip the whole thing apart. So we did. Everything was able to come out, and it's the Good Times Center here. The Good Times Center here in Ottawa, we were able to get all the right parts. We got a bag of parts. And again, things that, we have labels, and we had a bag of all kinds of different things. Everything from, even spark plugs. And of course, we ended up using the CLR because, again, things that are totally rusted out, we're either going to use heavy chemicals like muriatic acid, or we can be able to use the CLR. CLR works great because, again, there's a bearing on the inside, pretty much right here. There's a bearing right inside here connected to the front. So that ended up being seized, and we found out, should we replace it? Well, we found out it's remarkably expensive. It's $50 for that thing. So we saved it by simply dipping it in CLR, and we were able to fix it. You can see there's some jars. And also, what do we got here? We got Lloyd's corrosion inhibitor and lubricant. So
that's what we soaked the bearing in.
We soaked the bearing in this stuff. Okay, so AD 2000. Product quality since 1919. So we had some success with this product here. So that's in good shape. And then, of course, typical WD-40. And from the dealer, from the snowmobile dealer, we ended up with this product called Alvina EP Grease 8370168. And it's worth about $20 because it says $20 right there.
Good to 40, minus 40.
Good to minus 40. Okay, well, that's in good shape. We used it on everything, not only for just nuts and bolts and the actual gearbox. This guy right here, that gearbox, you see there's the drain plug. Well, it's not really a drain plug, it's a fill plug. So as Donnie boy told us how to build this, we ended up showing how to be able to build it, and we put the last of it in there. And he says that's good for a couple of gear cases. Well, man, we've only used that about right there, but we used it for everything in this place. Plus, of course, Permatex. Permatex is a good company as well. You can see
That's what we used for the gasket
the gasket, of course.
on the gearbox.
Yeah, you have to be able to seal that joint between the two halves. So we ended up using the Ultra Black, and that was able to seal the two joints because you don't want oil leaking out the bottom onto your interlock, especially in summertime when it's in storage.
Yep.
So that's good stuff. We didn't use a lot of it, but you have to have it.
Yep.
So that works in well shape. And same thing, everything was coated in grease. So we literally just took this and squirted it here and there as we were building this job. All of these are just thick with grease. You can just feel there's just grease inside here. It's all squishy.
And these didn't move. These were solid and didn't have the play in it that's required.
Yeah, so those are all in good shape now. So that is in great shape. Same thing. It's not really a bearing. It's more of just a small sleeve in the back over there. But everything had to be taken apart. Everything had to be sandblasted. The entire case. You can't tell, but this was totally blistered. And you guys have the same problem. So it's not incredibly hard. It's the disappointment that you're going to break off bolts. So you have to be able to take the time and drill them out and fight with it, and eventually just sandblast anything. You're into about $100 for sandblasting. Buy bolts and all of your, what did you buy? All your belts and everything else.
New
You're
belts,
into about,
new plug, new grease.
So you had to be able to buy that stuff.
Yeah.
But think of it, that was what, a $700 machine?
This was new. It was about $1,100, $1,200.
$1,200. So for $1,200, and now
We spent
14
maybe
years later, you did a total rebuild on it.
for about $400 or $500.
So for $400 or $500, you're going to get another 10 years because we're not going to kill the Tecumseh. And the belts themselves are going to get a long, long time to go. Tires are in great shape. So I think it was money well spent. And so she's going to go. So anyways, guys, we're going to shut up. And that's going to be it. So for me, SAN 379 out.